Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. It is our paint class tonight. It is Wednesday. I am on time and ready to go. I just have my canvas here. You know, I don't know. I need to see how big this canvas is. I always have a measuring tape because I just see how big this canvas is. I always have a measuring tape because you can paint with any size canvas that you want. This is a 14 by 14. It does have that backing on it. I generally will use, I bet I could get through this paint class with one brush, which is a flat brush, but you can choose anything you like to use with it. Just one moment, I forgot something. Thanks for joining me. We're gonna have paint class tonight. So on Wednesdays we do paint class. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for stopping in. I do paint classes on Wednesdays. I'm trying to make this like a regular habit. This is, if you subscribe to my channel, I'm going to do a drawing and give this away to someone if you're a subscriber. So any tangible item that we do together, that's what I've kind of decided that I wanted to do to give back to my community. I've had so much support from every single one of you on TikTok, and I really appreciate that. So to get started, I have my paint already. I just put it on paper plates. I mean, I'm not fancy. I couldn't find red Solo cups. I got my purple and that just has water in it. I've got it's about a 1/2 inch flat brush I'm going to start with. We are going to be painting this scene. I just drew it out earlier. It's just a tree with a swing on it. Has a nice sunrise in the distance. I usually will either paint something in advance or just draw it out. I'm not a very good person to draw, but I try. So I have it drawn out. The first thing that you need to remember is that your brush does not like a lot of water. Your brush loves water. Your paint does not. So try not to... when you're dipping your brush in the water, always wipe it off. So I'm just going to start, and I just dip my brush, and I do a couple little taps, and then I will wipe it off with the paper towel. I'm just pulling it away and wiping it off. It does not like a lot of water. None of the paint does. It doesn't matter what kind of paint you use. I'm using acrylic paint. Acrylic paint will, it doesn't matter what kind of paint you use. I'm using acrylic paint. Acrylic paint will, if it gets on your clothes, it will stain your clothes, but it's really easy to get off your hands. If it gets on your clothes, if you use a little Dawn dish soap, you can get it off. So I'm just going to start with my background. Now I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want my sunset, where I want my grass. So I'm going to start with my sunset. I'm going to dip into some blue and some white. Just going to go across. Now you could do this a couple different ways. You could make little X's or just go straight across. Make sure you get the top. I am famous for leaving the tops or the sides undone. So I always try to get the top. Again, just quarter brush, just getting the top of my canvas here. It's a 14 by 14 canvas. Does not matter what you use though. Now when I upload this video, it is only going to do 15 minutes of this class. If you click on some of my other things that I have on my site, it will take you to the entire video. So if you're interested and maybe this is something that you want to do later on, We do have a video. I have a video uploaded of doing a beach scene, which was super fun and beautiful. And then I did a little like bird with one of my kiddos' handprints. So you're welcome to go on those sites and just follow those along. If you have questions, let me know. I'm here to help you. Like this is an experience that we're doing together. And thank you so much for joining me. Oh, sorry guys. I was like, what is that? I had something come across my screen. You can dip in and maybe do a little bit darker so you get some streaking. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, one person I have painted before with an instructor that describes painting as you always want to stay in your lane. You can go up one lane like driving a car or down one lane, but don't go all the way back through your paint until it's dry. If you see a mistake, keep moving forward. It's going to be okay. You're going to have some mistakes sometimes. You're going to have, I call them holidays, where you missed a little smudge. That's totally okay. Just go back over it once it's dry. Don't try to go over it now because you're going to overdo it, and you know, we all have a tendency to be critical of what we do, and so you're going to like be trying to fix a mistake that's not really actually a mistake. So I'm going to go with my other color blue. Just put a little bit of this in my sky. And again, you can kind of go, you know, once back and forth, but then that's it. You're done. Like, don't my sky. And again, you can kind of go, you know, once back and forth, but then that's it. You're done. Like, don't funky color that you will not like. But yeah, I'm just going kind of back and forth motion. And again, I'm remembering staying and going kind of not more than one lane up or one lane down. So as I'm going, it's just right there. You could do little X's too. It works the same. Whatever you do is going to be phenomenal because it's going to be you doing it. And you're awesome. So just doing this background scene here. And I intended this to have a sunrise. So I'm going to lighten up my blue quite a bit. For this next swoop, it's going to be a very light blue. Okay. I'm going to dip my brush. I'm going to clean my brush out. Now, you can normally, you don't even really need to clean your brush. You're fine to go from one color to the next. Just, you know, even paper towel it off. But I'm going to go to my orange and my yellow. So I do want to get my brush clean. Again, anytime that you're doing your brush, tap it out and then wipe it on your paper towel. Your paint does not want a lot of water, especially acrylic paint. You don't want to have a lot of water in it. So now I'm just going to go, I'm going to mix, I'm going to go a little bit of an orangey, maybe a little red in there. And we don't necessarily, so I'm leaving a lane blank because I don't want to get this color in with my blue. It will turn funky. So I'm just being really careful. I could actually do maybe like a line, but let me do the major part of this first. So just back and forth. I just dipped. What I did is I took orange, I took red, and I took white. And that's all I did. And that is going to be where I'm at. Orange, red, and white. And it's going to get that really beautiful color. Now I've got a line right here that I've left. And I did that on purpose because now I'm going to go back and get that line, but I want to be really careful because anytime I put any color with this blue, it's going to turn not so pretty. especially a red. And, you know, sometimes you can get some purple. So, I mean, I suppose I can try it. We'll see if we can get a purple out of it. But again, I'm just going, I'm in my lane still. Stay in your lane. And yeah, I'm not loving that color very much, but that'll be okay. We'll be fine. We're going to go with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and again, I am cleaning my brush out only because I'm going to go to the yellow, and I don't want to get a funky color. And you will if you go like from an orange to a yellow. It'll just be a color that you won't really necessarily like. Take a little bit of my white with my yellow. And I'm just mixing it on my paper plate, guys. I'm not even like going anywhere else. I can see it has a little blue hue to it. That's okay. We're gonna live with it. That's okay. We're gonna live with it. Get the side because I always forget. I'm gonna do a little bit more yellow. I love the bright yellows. They just make it so beautiful. Okay, that's as far down as I'm going with this. So I've got my basic scene, and you can see where I took that and I got that little bit of a funky color. I'm not in love with it. That's okay. I'm going to let it dry. Thank you for joining me. Just going to let it dry a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and sometimes I'll flip it over if I'm doing the bottom of it, but I think I'll just keep it held like this. You can use an easel. You can use, and I'm getting like paint all over me, and that's okay. You can use whatever you want. Rule number 1 too that I didn't mention to you, if you're not using your brush, put it in the water, because if you're like me, I tend to look at this and I'm like, I could go back and do this. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, this will be cool. Oh, that'll be cool. And by the time that I'm gone back so many times, I completely messed up my painting. So brush is in the water if you are not using it. Thanks again for joining me. I am St. Christine. I started my TikTok going through some health problems and started doing TikTok just as a way to kind of have an outlet. If you look at my channel, you'll see that I love to go to the casino, and I have a lot of casino type videos on different channels and whatever. And yeah, but on Wednesdays I do painting, and then we're going on field trips. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Thank you so much for all of the love and support. I really do appreciate it. If you subscribe to my channel, what you're getting out of that, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, this is kind of, you're just really supporting me in the fact that if you subscribe, there are some benefits to that, like some different emojis and some kind of silly things like that. But also things like this that we do together. I'm doing a drawing, and then I'm going to send this to someone, one of my subscribers. So, and I'm going to continue to do that as we go along. So you definitely don't have to subscribe, but just an option for you. So yeah, so I'm going to go and I'm going to do the bottom of my painting. Now I drew this out and I got paint on it now. I drew this out earlier. It's a tree with a swing. I drew it out. I wasn't really sure what we should do tonight, and I was like, well, that kind of looks fun. So right now I'm just going to kind of do the bottom of my painting. So I'm going to take and just do some green for grass, because this is summertime wherever this is. I'm keeping it away from my yellow right now. So I'm just going to kind of like make a line and keep it away from my yellow. Now I will, normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I'm going to let this whole thing dry. But because I don't use a hair dryer on them to dry them, I'm going to go ahead and just do it this way with you. And there's nothing wrong with doing it this way. It just isn't the preferred method, I suppose. So this green paint I've been complaining about it. It's like super runny. I hate it. I don't know. It's not what I need it to do. But we're going to get by. We are just going to make it work. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's like soupy, and I couldn't make it not soupy. So I'm not really sure what happened to my green. And I have make it not soupy. So I'm not really sure what happened to my green. And I have, it's leaving a lot of what we would call holidays. So those are spots that you missed, basically. Even though I'm painting them, it's leaving them. So this is going to be, it's going to have a tree in it. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to love it when it's done. I'm remembering to paint the bottom. And again, you know, just whatever you do, you can use an easel for this. I'm not using an easel. I kind of tend, when I'm doing paint classes or whatever, I tend to always hold my painting, and I don't know why. I guess I just fling it around and whatever else. But you could definitely use an easel. And when you're first, like if this is like one of your first paintings, go ahead and use an easel, because sometimes it's easier for that control of going back and forth if you have it just steady and you're not moving it. I'm moving it around because, you know, I paint once a week. So I used to paint more, but just as a hobby. Like, I'm not a professional painter or a professional artist or anything like that. And some of you, you know, I know, like, maybe you do this for a living, maybe, and I probably have different techniques that are probably not proper, but it's okay, because we'll get through it. We will get through it together. I just appreciate that you are tuning in, and thank you so much for coming by. This is our weekly paint class. We do a weekly paint class. I've been trying to do this for a while. And so anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, right now, I'm making kind of some, and I'm doing something I told you guys not to do. I'm going back through it, but I don't have, this paint is not gonna dry very quickly, and so I'm just gonna go back through it right now. Normally, you always want to wait till your paint is dry to either add something or fix something or whatever the case may be. But tonight, I'm not going to wait for it to dry. So, my little guy came home from school not feeling well today, although I have a babysitter watching him right now, and he's feeling just fine. And I'm like, okay, I picked you up from school and you said you were half dead. There's my green grass, and we're going to do some things with this green grass, but we're going to wait a few minutes to do them. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you are coming on. Don't forget to do your bottoms and your sides, which I have a little place right here where my thumb is holding that I can't get right now. So, but I will get it before I send it to anyone. I'm going to set it down. I'll get it now, actually, so I don't forget it. Okay. I'm going to leave this for a minute. We're just going to chit-chat. Remember I said anytime that... How many of you have painted and, like, been so... You look at the water and you're like, oh, gosh, don't do it. You know, it's hard because it's like you're painting and then you're picking up something that looks like a drink, and it's like, no, not a drink. You do not want to drink my blue water. Please, please. It's not even blue. Ugh. Yuck. Anyways, so on Wednesdays we have paint classes, and I'm so glad that you're able to tune in and kind of just hop on here, and we're doing field trips together. We're going to start doing some cooking together. If you check out my videos, you'll see that I love to go to the casino. I have a lot of videos that kind of showcase that. But as far as doing lives, I can't do lives doing that. So I was like, I'm just going to hop on here and I'm going to do super fun stuff and be, you know, just my message is always kindness. Like, kindness wins with anything. And when I first started this, I've been going through a health battle, and And it's been hard, and I have had so much support from my community here on TikTok and my other social media platforms, and so I really appreciate that. I am going to be right back. I just have to grab, I forgot a color that I need, and I'm hoping that I have it right here. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I just stuck it in there. But thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We are doing our paint class tonight. We do these on Wednesdays. My paint is drying right now, and I'm just grabbing, I forgot that I needed, to do a tree you need brown, and I totally forgot about it. So, I have this little, I will call it a she shed. It's not, believe me, I'm not roughing it. I have a fireplace in here. I have a beautiful camper that I come out and escape my life in. So I come to my camper, and this is where I sell on Poshmark, and I have all of the back room is nothing but clothes. Literally, like, you got all of the back room is nothing but clothes. Literally, like, you got paint all over me. I just started doing Posh I got serious about it about 4 months ago, and so I'm gonna have to like change this up a little bit, because I can't have all this stuff in here and take this camper camping. Like, it's not gonna work. So I'm going to be cleaning my closet out, and yeah, that'll be fun. So anyways, I talked earlier about, I usually just use 1 or 2 paintbrushes. Like, you don't need a whole slew of paintbrushes. I always suggest having a round brush. This brush is incredible. Have a round brush. You'll use it for a lot of things. It's good for like when you're smushing, like if you're doing your scenery in the background, you can kind of smush it down and it'll make your background look really nice. So you could do that. And then I usually always have a smaller round brush, which is great for flowers. You just dip the paint in and kind of pull away and do the petals. So, and then I always, and this is like my go-to brush, which is hilarious to me because it didn't used to be, but my go-to brush is this flat brush. It's about 1/4 inch. This is my go-to. And I paint, usually I'll paint my whole picture with this one brush. Once in a while I'll pick up something else. I love a fan brush too, which is great for grass. I'm going to show this later to you when we do some grass in here. But usually, like, you don't need that many brushes, guys. You know, unless you're like Picasso, which I'm not, so I'm good. But thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad that you could stop by. I love watching where people do like the battles with each other. And I'm always like, this is kind of funny, but whenever I see them, I'm always like, you know, internally, I might be there sometimes lately. Like, instead of having another person, I'm like battling against myself. Like, you're still good. You're still okay. You could do this. So I have a couple different things going on. I have type 1 diabetes, and then I have multiple sclerosis, and they just told me that they're pretty sure I have this stiff person syndrome, which makes it like I'm falling over, I fall down. There's been a couple days I couldn't get out of bed. Totally ridiculous, right? Because, you know, you put some dirt on it and keep moving forward. That's what you do. And it's been a little harder to do that. I'm a kind of a workaholic, I guess you could say, and I haven't worked since January 30th. It's driving me crazy. I work at a school. I miss the kids. They're phenomenal. And it's rough. It's rough. And I don't know that I remember, you know, I don't know that I'm going to be able to go back. But anyways, that's another story, and we're not a therapy session. But just kind of telling you like how I started my TikTok, why I started my TikTok. I was like, you know what? I have all these, you know, I had a ton of videos with having fun at the casino with my crew of people that go with me. And I'm just like, I'm going to start it. I'm just going to start it. And then I'm going to do other stuff too. Because I love hunting and fishing and whatever. Like camping's like my big thing. I love to go camping. This last year, and I'm letting my paint dry, so that's why I'm jabbering. But this last year, I booked our camp trip, which we take several a year, but I booked one of our big camp trips that we were going to be gone for a week. I booked it during Sturgis, not thinking it's Sturgis and I'm going to South Dakota. So, and I've been down to Sturgis like several times, but I just didn't think about it. So here we are, we're towing our camper with a big truck, like it's a dually truck. I don't know what kind, Chevy, dually, something. So we're towing the camper down there, and there are literally motorcycles everywhere, everywhere. Streets are shut down in certain areas. We camped up in a place called Hill City, which is about 20 miles from Sturgis. And but we had to stop for gas, and there was like no way we could stop. There's a town called Belfouche before you get to Sturgis. We could not stop there. There was no way we could get our truck and our camper in with all the motorcycles. So I said, well, I know, let's go to more of like the truck stop place, and we'll be able to get in there. We got in, but it took us over an hour to get our camper and our truck out because there were so many motorcycles by then that had came in that I was like, just stay right where we are, because I'm scared to death that there's just no way. They were everywhere. But totally cool. Like, our campground was full of people from Sturgis. It was so much fun. We met so many awesome people. And I would, if you've never been down there and you're thinking, well, that might be like a destination spot, South Dakota has so many things, especially that side of the state where Sturgis is, and Mount Rushmore and Rapid City, and they have so many things you can do. If you enjoy hiking, they have huge trails. If you enjoy bicycling, which I love to bicycle, they have 100-mile trail there, which I wouldn't go 100 miles, but I've gone like 15 miles on it, and it is remarkable. And there's ways to get in and out. You don't have to stay the whole 15 miles. Like, I think we went 6 and we were able to get out and stop for a little while and then go back on the trail and go down. And really, when you're riding a bicycle, it doesn't feel like you went that far. It definitely, you can go a lot farther than if you're walking. But love bicycling. South Dakota, and I don't live in South Dakota, so just a disclaimer here. I'm not like doing a message for South Dakota, but Deadwood, love Deadwood. Beautiful place. Super historic, and I love the old buildings there. Love the buildings. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and we're painting this. I kind of etched it earlier. We're going to put our tree, so I'm just dipping into some brown. Now, when you do your tree, like, there's a couple of things to remember. First of all, sometimes trees don't look pretty at first. You're good. It's okay. You're just going to lay your tree in. You can either start from the top or you can start from the bottom. I usually start from the bottom. I don't know that there's a right way to do it. And if you know a right way to do it, you go. But I don't know that there's a correct way to lay a tree in here. So I'm just... No pun intended. So I'm just going to I'm going to probably like go right here, and I'm just going to bring my tree down. Boom. It's got a curvy little line. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to lay the rest of my tree. Boom. There she goes. That's going to be my tree. You do it however you want to do it. And then I'm just going to, and this isn't really dry enough for me to fill it in, I don't think. I'm going to do a branch. Now, you can do branches any way you want. Sometimes people will come in to the tree. Sometimes people will go out. I generally will go out from the tree. I don't know that there's a right way to do it. And you've got to remember when you're doing a branch that don't make your branches all the same. It'll look super funny. I'm going to do a bigger branch here and just kind of make it a little squiggly. And it's going into my tree. Now with a branch, you're going to kind of roll your brush too to kind of get that effect of coming in and out. And there you go. We have some branches. This is like really wet still, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to put my tree in for a few minutes. Oh, I can. I can do it. I'm trying to get it in so you guys can kind of like see what it's going to look like. And like I said, there's no perfect way to do it. However you're doing it is going to be a perfect way for you, and that's okay. Like, I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do it. At least not in my world. So, you know, we can all be critical of each other and be like, oh, you know, I should have done this. I should have done that. Well, should-haves are just should-haves are just should with certain things. Because I'm one of those people that I want things to be like a certain way, and they're generally never that way. So I'm working on just being like, hey, it is what it is. It's good. I'm good. It's cool. So trying to be more kickback, I guess you could say. And I paint all over my hand. Super fun. Okay, so I'm going to put another branch. And again, I'm just going out. When I'm doing the branches, just kind of go out with it. But you want it to be thinner at the end. You know how a branch is thinner at the end. It's thicker at the from the tree. So you want it to do that. And again, no right or wrong way to do anything. That's not what this class is all about. Taking another branch, and this one kind of gave me a little unusual thing. This, I'm going to go ahead and put my tree swing on this branch. So for my tree swing, I'm just going to do 2 lines down. I'm going to go here and here. And then I'm just going to put a seed on it. And guess what? It's not perfect. And that's okay. There. So we will do some work within it. And like I talked about earlier, oh my God, I have so much paint on me. Because this is not dry. But like I talked about earlier, there is, you know, it's however you want it to be. So I just dipped in a little different color of brown. A little bit of, I'm just going to get some shading right here. I want to give this a little bit, and if you take a leaf and you kind of do a lighter brown and then you shade it, and then shade the outside. If you're shade only one side, generally speaking, up to you, but it looks better if you just do one side. Sometimes a lot of people will take some white and kind of go over it. That's okay too. That's great. Whatever you want to do is perfect because this is yours. You get to say what you want. I'm going to do one. I think I'll do one more branch. I don't necessarily like this branch right here. But I'm going to be okay with it. And when I originally thought about doing this tree, my tree was going to not have any leaves on it. My tree was going to be like this. I was thinking of using a smaller canvas. So we are going to have to do some greenery on this tree or something up top here, or it's going to look super funny. So, so we'll probably do some different branches. And I'm just going to do like a knot hole right there. I think that's really cool. And we're going to fix this branch. I'm going to take it kind of up. There. That's better. Okay. Well, we're going to work on our leaves then. which I did not, again, I didn't intend to do leaves. When I looked at this earlier, I was, I am so full of paint because this paint is not dry. But when I looked at it earlier, I never intended on having my tree be only halfway, but I also had, my idea was a smaller canvas. And when I looked at my different canvases, I was like, I'm just going to go big or go home. So, and that's usually the way I am. My personality is kind of like that. Like, just go big or go home, man. You might as well, right? So in order to do the leaves, I've got this little round brush. And I'm just going to be taking it and kind of just doing leaves like this. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I talked earlier about doing some smushing with one of the brushes. This is the bigger round brush. I'm going to do the smushing. So I'm just getting it in my water. Tap, 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 tap. Now this, you're really going to want to wipe it. So wipe that water out of it because your brush does not like that. And your paint doesn't like that either. So I guess your brush loves it, paint doesn't like it, I should say. Thank you for coming on with me. So you're just going to take it, put it in your green, and you are literally going, and you know, you can have a little white in it too. Why not? You are just going to go, and I got to think about this. You're just going to go and you're just going to make the top of the tree. So I'm just smushing it. I'm just making those leaves. Smushing it down. I don't want to get too much in the brown right now because it's wet. And if I do that, I'm going to carry that all over into my lovely little tree. Happy tree, happy tree. Now, sometimes when you're doing this, and like I said, you can get a little white. The white will kind of make it pop out if you put white behind it. So if I add a little white, and then I wait a few minutes, and I put the green over it, this side of my tree is going to pop with a better green, and I'll kind of add it in here too. Kind of fill this in. There we go. Perfect. It's kind of a weeping willowy tree. I don't want to go back through that too much because I'm going to get a funky color if I do. So yeah. Brush is in the water if you're not using it. Now I will take my little round brush. Again, tap, tap, tap. Wipe it out with a paper towel. You always want to wipe it. Ooh, that could have been bad. Always wipe it. Thanks for joining me. We do paint classes on Wednesdays. So please follow me, like, subscribe. Please, please, please. Okay, so in order to do some leaves kind of dropping down, I'm just going to barely take it and just kind of swoop it. And that's just a little bit of leaves coming down. And it's green, so it's not losing a whole lot of leaves. You can also take, if you want, add a little orange. Be really careful when you do this because that green and orange is going to make a super nasty color if it touches it too much. It'll just, it won't be good. You won't like it. Okay. Gonna go ahead, get that water off this brush. And I'm going to tap into my green again. And I'm going over my white. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, we do paint classes on Wednesdays. I absolutely love our paint classes together. I'm super blessed to have you here. And here we go. Now, remember I said we were going to do a few other things with this. So, and I am not, hi, I'm not organized today. I need to be more organized. I grabbed things and then I was like, oh, I'm good. And then I walked out here to my little she camper and decided, oh, maybe I'm not. So I'm just adding some black. I need a little black, and I didn't put any earlier. And I really appreciate you having patience with me tonight, because for some reason, I just did not have my act together. No, do not come with me. Don't come with me, please. Thank you. And take a drink. Hydration is important when you're working hard. I got my little kitty. So, oh my. Ta-da! So if you look at my videos, you'll kind of see a little bit about me and see why I started doing TikTok and kind of what's been going on with my life. I've had some drastic changes in my health and some just different things that have made it difficult for me, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna get on here, I'm gonna do this. I had a son who passed away in 2016, and he always used to tell me, Mom, you could do hard things, and you're so charismatic, and you're gonna make a difference in people's lives. And I was just like, this is one way I can make a difference, because if someone's at home and they're feeling lonely and they're, you know what, we're all a community, and so the human race is just a community of people who need to be there for each other. And I'm like, I can do this. And it's not, my friends will say different. They'll be like, oh, you're so outgoing, but really I have to kind of work on that. I am outgoing, but not by nature. So I have to be like, okay, I can do this, you know, I can make mistakes in front of everybody and just be like, oh, it's whatever. Where normally I'd be like, ooh, I didn't want to make that mistake. Okay, so again, I still have 3 brushes that I've used. We are going to, I promised you we were going to try this fan brush. I am not, because this green paint, which I have to change, is so runny. I'm not getting this into any water. I'm just dipping it into my paint. Normally I would not tell you to do that, but normally I would say get your brush wet and then get some of the water off of it. I'm not doing that today because this is so runny. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my fan brush, and you'll see this creates this beautiful grass. So you can also do it with your larger brush. I've done it many times with that, but I wanted to show you with this brush. So you can just go, make sure when you're doing grass that it is different sizes. It looks better if you have the grass be different heights. At least I think so. And you do it however you want to do it. So I'm just going to go here, kind of see. And it doesn't have to be grass the whole way. It could just be a little faint trail. If you can see that, it's kind of a faint trail over on the side. Maybe I want a little more grass, a little taller. Nobody mowed over here. And I can actually go through this and like take, say, a hill. Like I'll take this. We're going to make this a hill, okay? So I'm going to... We're going to make this more of a defined hill. Okay. So now I'm going to go back. And again, this is so runny. I don't like that. But I'm just going to wipe off a little bit of it. My defined hill, I can take And I'll take a little bit of my grass, and remember, don't let it be the same size. You want it to be different heights. And just take it up a little bit. Paint classes are on Wednesdays. If you've just joined me, this video, when I go to show this video, it's only going to show you 15 minutes of it. You can click on some of my other things and you can watch the whole video if you want. I did do one last week that was geared more towards like doing with your child or grandchild, niece, nephew, brother, sister, whoever. It was a handprint that we turned into a bird and then did a bird nest. It was super cute. I will be doing some other things like that as we get closer to Easter. I think we're going to do a really cute bunny. But yeah, we'll just do some things like that. I'm going to go ahead a little bit. I'm going to add a light hue of a little bit of blue. Oh, my pump is going off. Hold on, guys. I added a little bit of blue with a little bit of white down here just to give it kind of a shading. And I'll kind of run it through up here. It does not take a lot of paint. I am, how do I say this? I do everything a little bit extra. So I always have a ton of paint on all my stuff and I waste it. And, you know, you don't have to do that for sure. Like, it does not require as much paint as I put on my paper plates. You can use an easel when you're doing this. You could, anything that you want to do is going to be absolutely amazing. We can go up here and get a little bit of definition in our tree. So if you use some different colors, and don't be scared of using colors. You know, there's nothing that you can't fix. If you get stuck and you're like, I don't know what I just did, shoot me a message and be like, I'm stuck and I don't know what I did, and I will help you. You know, it's a little harder to help like on a message, but I totally will. I'll do whatever I can to help you get past your point where you feel like you messed it up, or because everybody has that in the beginning. You know, when you start a picture and you're like, this is not what I wanted it to be. You're going to have that. And you know what? Let it dry, paint over it, paint white all over it. If it's acrylic paint, you could paint over that picture several times and it's going to be fine. It's fun to use different mediums. Maybe you want to use, you know, you could use for the clouds up here, you could have gotten like maybe a sponge. Maybe you can do anything. Like it's your painting. But I'm just putting a little bit of a dimension in because I don't like my green. Again, I know I've talked about it like several. I'm like a broken record with this green, I'm telling you. But it's too runny. And I knew that when I was in my house earlier and I put it on a paper plate in my house because I've been doing it out here in my camper and it just makes a mess. So I've been putting the paint on my house and then coming out to my camper. And I was like, this green is too runny. But I also didn't fix it. So that's kind of on me. I should have fixed it then when I thought about it. So I am not wiping off. I'm going to my black. Black is one of those colors, along with white, you only need a little bit, a hint, because it will stand out, and if you get too much, you're not going to like it. I'm going to come down. Remember I said to wait till you were dry? I'm just going to give this a little bit of accent. And my black again, giving it a little bit of accent into my tree. Coming here, just kind of outlining. And you know, you don't have to outline. I just always usually do, just because it's more of a habit. You guys are going to hear a train in a minute. I live near railroad tracks and the train comes by several times a day. So it's something that you definitely, I've lived in this house for 4 years and Probably the first week I was here, I was like, what am I doing? I want to move back to my old house. Because it is super annoying all day, all night. Just, yeah, not so fun. But hey, it's where I live, and I gotta deal with it. Everybody has something. So I'm putting some outlining on my tree. Remember I said, if you do this, just kind of sparingly do one side of it. Oh, I just messed this up. Okay. I said there was no mess ups, and there won't be. I'm going to fix it. And I'm fixing it again. It's so fun. I'm such a creature of habit. If I get a brush in my hand, I don't change it. I'm like, okay, I'll do everything with this brush. And, you know, it's whatever. Like, you could do so many things with this fan brush. I don't think you could do this whole picture. Maybe you could. I don't think you would like the outcome because it deafenings with this fan brush. I don't think you could do this whole picture. Maybe you could. I don't think you would like the outcome because it deafenings. So, yeah. So this is our picture. I don't know that I'm missing too many things. Maybe we'll put a bird in now. Maybe we'll leave it. So this is the picture we've done tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed doing this picture with me. I have enjoyed doing it with you. Wednesdays is paint class. So you do not have to join in, but if you want to, you can. We always paint with acrylic paint. I'm going to fix my green before next Wednesday because it is driving me nuts. So yeah, we always paint with acrylic paint. We'll use different size canvases. Doesn't matter to me what you use. Next week, we might do that bunny. I'll just have to see. Sorry. My pump is going crazy. So my transmitter stopped working, which has been real fun. It stopped holding a charge. It doesn't charge all the way. So the transmitter is supposed to be good for like 2 or 3 more days, and it just said the battery's depleted in my transmitter, which is a real pain in the butt because it's expensive to change that. And really I shouldn't have to change it for 7 days. And it's only been, and now it won't pick up where my blood sugar is, which is crazy too. So this thing is just, they need to fix it. So I should have 2 more days left, and I've got nothing on my transmitter, so I have to change that and call the company again and tell them that they need to get their act together because to get the transmitter is like $1,200, and I just bought this new transmitter, and so it should be working, but it's not. So yeah, this is our picture today. This is what we painted. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much for coming. This is going to be, I will post, it'll let me do 15 minutes when I upload it. So I will upload it into a video. It'll be 15 minutes worth of this painting. And then if you click on one of my other things, it will show the entire, however long this has been on here, it will show that. And so you'll be able to see the entire thing of the step-by-step process we went through to get this painting. Please follow me. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it if you did. Check out my videos, check out my story. And we're just having fun. Like, I want to thank you again for all of the support that I have gotten from TikTok. I have absolutely been overwhelmed with the amount of people who have reached out to me, liked my videos, gave me those words of encouragement. Keep going. You got this. It's been an incredible journey, and I have so appreciated every single one of you. So again, this was our picture tonight. Thanks for coming to paint class. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe. You don't have to, though. You're still coming with me. But if you subscribe, it just helps support me to where I can do more things like this. And we will be, so this picture right here, the picture that we did last week and the picture that we did the week before, are going in drawings for the subscribers. So I'm going to ship those to whoever I draw. So if you subscribe, you get to be entered into that. And again, namaste. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. And thank you. I hope you guys had a good time with me. I have loved, oh my goodness. I keep trying to take the tea, like I put this towel on here, and here's our picture, up close and personal. Woo woo. Anyways, yeah, I put this towel down so I don't get all my stuff dirty, and it just, yeah, it's wanting to come with me. Wanting to come with me tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Yikes! Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. This video will be uploaded, and you have a great day. I am looking forward to this weekend. We are doing some exciting things, so make sure you stay tuned. Goodbye!